This is a real-life demonstration of how structure and the Testy extension for structure are used at JTalks for QA in an Agile workflow. Here we have a structure that's used as a repository for all the test cases for a project. These test cases were entered via Zephyr and have Zephyr's issue type, although it doesn't really matter how you enter them. We can arrange the structured hierarchy in any way we want. Here we're using real issues from our QA project as containers for branches, but they could equally be created in another project set aside specially for this purpose so that they don't create clutter in JIRA. One way to add new issues to a structure is by searching in JIRA. Open the search bar and enter a search query. You can use plain text, standard JQL, and SJQL. SJQL, or structured JQL, is a special function for searching inside structures. We won't go into that in this demonstration, but I assure you it's awesome. Clicking the Search Mode button inside the query field cycles through these modes. The search bar remembers the last query entered, and as you can see here, we've already been searching by project and label. Matching issues will appear in the search results pane on the right. To add issues to the structure, we can just drag them from the search results pane and drop them into the structure board wherever we want. We can also enter issues inline in the structure board. By highlighting an issue and clicking the Next Issue button, we create a new issue at the same level as the highlighted issue. In the same way, we can click the Sub-Issue button to create a new sub-issue as a child of the highlighted issue. Note that structure creates hierarchies of any depth with standard issue types. It is not limited to JIRA subtasks. In this project, we've specified as few required fields as possible in order to make it easy to enter simple checklists for testing. All we really need to enter is the summary, but if we want to fill in other fields, we can switch to the native JIRA dialog, or switch back to the structure board. Project and issue type can be copied from the previous issue, that is, the one that was highlighted when you clicked on the Next Issue or Sub-Issue button. Now we've entered our new issue, we can edit it inline, assign it, manipulate it with JIRA keyboard shortcuts, and also structure keyboard shortcuts. You can find the structure shortcuts reference in the info menu in the bottom right corner. So let's see how all of this works in real life. Before we start testing a release, we create a new structure. In this case it will be the 2.8 release, so we'll name the structure accordingly. We can add permissions to determine who can view it, who can edit it, and who can control it. But right now we don't need to do any of that. Now we've created our structure, we want issues from this release to be added to the structure automatically. To do that, we use a filter synchronizer to pull issues into the structure. We can set it to use an existing saved filter, or we can write a new JQL query. Here we want issues from the JCommune project from Sprint 2.8 Larks. The autocomplete field gives us the sprint names, and on selection it enters the sprint ID for us. The filter synchronizer has options to place matching issues underneath specified issues that are already in the structure, and to remove issues from the structure when they no longer match the filter query. In this case we don't need to change any of the other settings, so we're good to go. Structure will warn us a few times about the dangers of reckless synchronization and tell us that there will be no going back. We hit the Start Resync button and everything will be just fine. One more warning and a last chance to reconsider, and we're done. Now we have all our issues from the specified sprint in our structure board. We can add the sprint column to demonstrate. Here we can see all the sprints that each issue figures in. These are development issues, and now we want to add our test cases to them. Using search, we go looking in JIRA for issues in our QA project that are associated with our development issues. Here we're using labels to identify them. We then drag and drop them into the structure board beneath the development issues they correspond to, after which we can multi-select and indent them. You can also indent or outdent using keyboard shortcuts or the buttons on the toolbar. Now our test cases are displayed under the development issues they correspond to, so we can immediately see what issue each case relates to. At the beginning of the demonstration we showed you a structure that contains all of our test cases. This is another place we can go to get test cases for our sprint's development issues. We open the test case structure, find the test cases we need, select them and copy them using Ctrl-C or the Cut button, which is a bit of a misnomer as it doesn't actually cut the issues out of the source structure, so don't worry. The copied issues then appear in a special structure clipboard. We can see its icon in the far right of the toolbar. If we open it, we'll see the issues we just copied. Now if we open another structure in the same browser window, those same issues are available to be dragged into the structure board. Remember that while an issue can be in any number of structures, it can only appear in each structure once in one place. This limitation will be moved in the upcoming Structure 3 release. For actual testing, we create a column called a test run. This functionality is provided by the Testy extension. We can call the test run whatever we want, and we can also change the title of the column. By default, it takes the name of the test run. Now we can set results for these test cases directly from the structure board. If we went through a whole group of tests all at once, we can set the results for an entire branch instead of setting them one by one. We're using Zephyr here for recording test steps. Incidentally, in the latest version of Structure, you can open the JIRA issue detail view in a pane inside the structure board. A quick word about the structure board. You may have noticed that after we added a new column to the board, an asterisk appeared beside the text Basic View in the top right. This tells us that we've changed the column layout, which we call a view, from the one that was previously saved. If I want other people to be able to see the same columns that I do, I can save this new layout as a view and share it. I can make it public or share it with specific groups or project roles. We can easily remove unnecessary columns and add other columns to create a view to suit what we're doing. There are also perspectives, which let you show other people your structure board pretty much exactly as you see it, with all the same nodes open or closed, and even the scroll position will be shown to them and the same issues will be selected or highlighted. Of course, if they don't have permission to see everything that you see, then they won't see all of it exactly the same, such as life. This is great when you don't want to save a view, tell someone which structure to open, which columns to add or which view to enable, where to look and so on. You can just send them a link and you're immediately on the same page. If a user doesn't have permission to view the structure at all, this is what they'll see. Remember our structure permissions that we didn't set in the beginning? Now we'll change them to make this structure visible to everyone. And this is what an authorized viewer will see. Even the scroll height is preserved. It's wonderful stuff. Take a look at the documentation and try it out for yourself. Another nice feature with Structure is the Structure panel on the JIRA issue page, which allows you to see where that issue is and what issues it relates to in any structure it's included in. The default display mode in the issue viewer structure panel is the pinned mode, which shows the current issue and any parents or children that it has. So here we're looking at the current issue and all its test case children, along with the results of a test run. We can rearrange columns here too and switch to a previously saved view, and we can also save a new view. We can unpin the current issue and browse through the entire structure, and we can also use a whole bunch of standard structure features and tools right here in the JIRA issue page. Try it out for yourself in the live structure demo and feel free to ask questions on it, Lassie answers.